Parents of Reddit, what's something that your kid has done that you pretended to be angry about but secretly impressed or amused you? I live with my dad and my 9-year-old daughter. I sometimes go to the gym at night and tell my daughter to brush her teeth while I'm gone. When I get back, she shows me a video on our tablet of her brushing her teeth as proof. A few days ago, I realized that her hairstyle was slightly different in the video, and I figured out that she had simply pre-recorded herself brushing her teeth in several different outfits. While I was fairly impressed at this, I kept a straight face and explained to her that when I was a kid, Grandpa would beat me savagely with a set of jumper cables whenever I didn't brush my teeth. Since then, she's been brushing several times a day on her own. How the fuck do you do this to me every single time? It's bullshit. My 16-year-old son and his buddies decided to call their dodgeball team Snipe so that they could accidentally stand in front of the whole school with their lettered t-shirts spelling out penis. Such a proud mom I was. This is brilliant. Wish I had thought of this earlier. My 9-year-old son called me into his room because he had a monster in his closet. I tell him he's too old for that kind of thing and to go back to sleep. He pleads with me to check. I open the door and turn on the light. Staring back at me is some scruffy-looking thing with angry eyes, and I scream. It was a mirror. I'm trying to see if I'm having a heart attack, and he's laughing his troll ass off. I'm proud of his cleverness, but considered if he were too old to be left on someone's doorstep. Maybe he's not a troll, he's just struggling with existential problems. Maybe we really are monsters. One night my wife and I were having a discussion with our 10-year-old daughter about the importance of homework, education, and her future. The subject came up because she was busted lying about her grades. I asked, "Don't you want to grow up and be successful like me?" Her response was, "Mom doesn't do anything, and she's got it pretty good." What did your wife say? She was speechless, and I defended as best I could without cracking a smile. Kindergarten teacher wanted a word with us because our son had called a wasp a dirty fucker. Turns out she wasn't as impressed with his proper usage as I was. In his defense, wasps are dirty fuckers. Dude, have you ever read about how tarantula hawk wasps reproduce? Those fuckers are the dirtiest of the dirty. Plus their sting is one of the most painful of all insects in the world. My daughter got in trouble in kindergarten for selling pencils to other kids. She was charging kids a quarter, the school charged 50 cents. I was pretty impressed. That's because her private enterprise threatened the state's monopoly on those items, as well as their major profit source. It should come as a surprise to nobody that crony capitalists will use their legislative influence to destroy their competition. Edit. Wow, just woke up and now my highest rated comment is a passive-aggressive denouncement of capitalism. I guess I'm now on a list up. My 10-year-old son swears periodically, but only in very appropriate ways. For example, we were reading The Two Towers from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We just finished the chapter on the fall of Isengard and closed the book for the night when he decided to comment. Wow, Saruman is an asshole. I mean, you're not wrong, but... Hey man, did you already subscribe on me? You don't? Subscribe and press like faster. My response exactly when my son swears. First time he did it, he was 2 years old. We were eating lunch when a piece of chicken fell off of his fork and he said, "Damn it!" So I explained to him that that was an inappropriate word for him to use at his age, but an impressive use of the word nevertheless. I've become much more careful about swearing in front of him since, especially when driving. He's 3 now, and a few weeks ago we're on the road behind a minivan that keeps slowing down and speeding up when he asks me, "Daddy, can I say a bad word?" I told him, "Well, you shouldn't, but now I'm interested in what you have to say." And he leans his head over to see around the seat, points at the van ahead of us and says, "That guy's an asshole." Your son is hilarious. My 6-year-old daughter was playing Mario Kart on the Wii U and got hit with a red shell. In the intense heat of the race, she says, "Ah, you bastard." I don't say anything yet, just look up at her surprised by her nonchalance and the way she just had that word loaded and ready to fire. She glances at me, doesn't even stop racing, and coolly explains, "Not you, Bowser." I don't think I even corrected it. My son was 2 years old when he got his first pair of eyeglasses. At first, he resisted wearing them until he realized he could see properly for the first time in his life. A few days into wearing his glasses, I brought home a 5-pound bag of individually wrapped chocolates that I was planning on taking to the office in a few days. He had gone upstairs to his toy room, and he was being way too quiet for too long. I went up there, and he was surrounded by wrappers covered in chocolate. Half the bag was gone, and he was so proud of himself. "Mommy, I not need help to open them, so I not had to ask." It was the first time he had been able to see where to pull to open the wrappers. I was so happy that he could finally see that I couldn't be angry. I had to tell him that he still needed to ask permission to take the candy, even if he didn't need help opening it anymore. The punishment was his bellyache. Kids lactose intolerant. Oh god, the stories I could tell about my niece. When she was 3 or 4, she was visiting my parents and Dad took her for a drive. Some douche cuts him off in traffic, so he yells, "Cocksucker!" out the window. About a block ahead, still behind the guy, he's almost through the intersection when he hears the back window roll down. A few seconds later, and my niece sticks her fist out the window, starts shaking it at the car ahead and screams, "Cocksucker!" as loud as she can. Classy dad. I was in the car with someone and their 4-year-old daughter, and the same thing happened, except she honked and yelled, "Stupid asshole!" For the next couple of days, whenever my mom would honk, the baby would yell, "Stupid asshole." It was hilarious. I'm glad I'm not the only one with this experience. Edit. Eventually, she just started honking the horn randomly because it was hilarious to hear her say that. I have twins. The boy is a perfectly normal kid. The girl is developmentally delayed due to autism. She doesn't really know how to communicate. For example, if he wakes up first, he just yells at us to let him out of their room. If she wakes up first, she just sits quietly until someone comes in. Well, on their 3rd birthday, they got a lot of sweet toys. The toys were in the living room so that it wasn't a distraction at bedtime. The following morning, she woke up and wanted to play with her new dolls. But she didn't know how to get our attention to open the door. But she knows her brother can get the door open. So she grabs a Nerf hammer, Thor's from the Avengers. She then just starts beating her brother in the head with it until his cries sent me running into the room. As soon as I open the door, she drops the hammer and runs past me, laughing straight to her new toys. Sociopathic maybe, but damn clever. In 6th grade, my daughter was friends with a boy who had a lot of feminine characteristics. My daughter initially got to know him because the rule in their school was that they had to remain at the table they sat at on the first day. This boy had no friends and had been sitting at the end of their table. Gradually, the girls got to know him, and he was taken into their group. While many were accepting of him wearing pink clothes and nail polish, some were not. One day, I got a call from the disciplinary superintendent at the school. He said, "Mrs. Potato's a fruit. I want to preface what I'm going to say by telling you that I am obligated to call about any situation where physical violence is involved," my heart sank, "but that I am by no means encouraging you to punish your daughter." He went on to tell me that one of the boys known for bullying this particular young man had pushed him down a small flight of stairs at the school. My daughter was so angry that she ran up to the bully and kicked him as hard as she could in the shin. She did have to apologize to the boy she kicked. We did talk about never lashing out physically, no matter how angry we were. But I was so proud of her for defending her friend. I went to Walmart with my boys and some guy nearly backed over us in the parking lot. It was bad. Stepson was looking elsewhere and my hands were full with the baby, so I basically smashed him in the chest with the diaper bag to stop his forward movement. As he's recovering his balance and realizing what happened, the guy is just staring at us like we materialized out of nowhere. And Stepson plants his feet and flips him the double bird. Completely calm, confident, full eye contact, and he held it up there for a good 3 seconds. The kiddo is normally kind of shy with adults. It was like seeing a glimpse of the man he is going to become. Shit, I remembered the worst. My daughter loves to compliment people. About a month ago, we were in the mall with my other kids. I was in line getting food for everyone when my daughter ran up to me and yelled, "Daddy, I love your penis!" It was both horrifying and hilarious, though I'm surprised I didn't get arrested. While holding my then 3-year-old daughter at the checkout at the grocery store, she poked me in the boob with her finger and cheerfully said, "You have great boobies, mama." Thanks, kiddo. When my daughter was 6, a boy in school was bullying her. He was confronting her one day in front of his buddies and said, "I bet you don't have the nerve to kick me in the nuts." She did. We got a call from the school. My ex and I had to stifle laughter while making to the principal. We exploded once we were outside, then had to rein it in once we met up with our daughter. The kid who was bullying her left her alone after that. I promise you the principal, teacher, and secretaries were laughing just as hard. It was just as difficult for the principal to stifle her laughter as it was for you. Why do we do this? Why can't we just be real with each other? Stupid etiquettes. I was once play wrestling with my nephew, and once the 3-year-old had me pinned. It turned to name-calling such as stupid face and dumb head, then my sister chimes in and says, "Don't call names." Then this boy looks at me and says, "Names." Literally, he just called me names. The punk. Preface: Otterbones is a life-size skeleton prop I keep by my desk. 5-year-old daughter came into the kitchen and said, "I'm scared." So I ask why she says Dr. Bones is gonna fuck me in the ass. I was shocked and laughed super hard, but had to put her on timeout. I did not give birth to them, but I have raised my 2 nephews as my own full-time for the past 10 years. I'm almost 25 now. They are 15 and 12, and I swear they are both little scientists. My oldest built a rocket out of fireworks and remote control car parts for the science fair, which he successfully launched into our cornfield when he was in junior high. Homemade fart bombs. Principal called on that one. Countless Rube Goldberg machines which destroyed my kitchen, my husband's study and workshop. Then there was my youngest. His multiple baking soda volcanoes which he figured he could use the same method to create a puking monster. His remote helicopter flying fox bat, and passing out Harry Potter jelly beans at school on test day. I really love my boys. I really love. My 5-year-old daughter has been getting grounded lately as a result of having bad bedtimes. One morning, she asked me what would happen if she kept getting grounded. She listened intently as I gave a long speech about how the longer you're grounded, the worse the consequences are, and how eventually you won't have any privileges left, and on and on and on. When I was done, she responded, "You're killing me, Smalls." My Thryo son stuffed 2 Matchbox cars into an empty toilet paper roll, then jammed Q-tips into that and flushed it. Water would pass, but not solid waste. Hours of plunging and snaking did nothing. Lost my freaking mind. A magnificent feat of evil engineering. I expect a call from the FBI in a few years telling me he has stolen the moon. Not my kid, but me in my younger days. When I was younger, my family and I used to watch a show called Chewin' the Fat, a Scottish sketch show. This was when I was around 3 or 4, and it was the day after a new episode had just come out, so I was eager to use one of my favorite lines on the show from the previous night. Well, it was coming up for nap time, and the nursery teachers were telling everyone to put away their toys and tidy up. I didn't want to tidy up. The teachers, however, did not like this and told me that if I didn't help, I would have my favorite toy, a transforming Greyman, taken away from me for the day. I was taken aback by such a brutal, unforgiving threat and saw my opportunity to use my favorite line. "Fuck off, you Nazi cow!" Parents were called in. Mother was not pleased. My dad, however, had to leave the room when she told him because he couldn't hold in the laughter. He bought me a toy Metal Garurumon. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe, press like, and comment.